The 4 nights will feature the biggest names in the Democratic Party, including the Obamas, the Clintons, and our next guest, former presidential hopeful, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. She's with us exclusively on this Monday morning. Senator Warren, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. It's good to be with you.
Let's start with where Kristen just left off there, that new poll that's out that shows Vice President Biden with a lead, albeit shrinking depending on which poll you're looking at. But when it comes to the economy specifically, the issue that most Americans say is most important to them, Vice President Biden is trailing right now, and that's with record unemployment. That's with businesses, large and small, shutting down all over this country. How can that be? How can it be that more Americans seem to trust this president with the economy than Vice President Biden?
Well, I think what we're going to see is exactly that conversation during the convention. You know, Americans understand that we face 3 crises right now: the coronavirus, a collapsing economy, and the problem of racial inequality, the conversation that has been put off for far too long. And here's the thing about Joe Biden. He has plans not only to address what's broken, but his intent is to build back better. And he has really got the kind of detail that touch people's lives. And he's someone that we can count on. You know, he's not a man full of empty promises and lies. He's a man of real integrity, a man in public service who will fight from the heart, and a man who has real plans to rebuild our economy. I think we're going to hear a lot about that over the next few nights of this convention. And I feel confident that when people hear it, they're going to know who they want for president: Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for vice president.
The convention, of course, gets underway tonight, and you're singing Mr. Biden's praises now. But a few months ago, you were somewhat critical of the vice president, and there are still a significant number of folks in your party, a large swath of the Democratic Party, the progressive wing of the party, of which you've become a standard bearer. They say that Mr. Biden and Senator Harris are not representative of that particular part of the party, the progressive wing of the party. Why should progressives come around now, Senator?
Look, we are united, and we're going to show that this week. We are going to show that in November, because look at where people are on the big, big issues. For example, Vice President Biden and Kamala Harris, they want to see us expand Social Security. They want to see us cancel a big chunk of student loan debt. They want to see us expand access to child care. Where are Donald Trump and the Republicans on every one of those issues? No, no, no. The choices are clear. The choices are clear on economic issues. The choices are clear on who you're out there fighting for. What Donald Trump is doing is fighting for the same people he always fights for: the billionaires, his cronies, people who've already made it big. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they're there to fight for people, for hardworking people across this country, and to rebuild this economy from the grassroots up. I'm going to be with them in this fight all the way.
Let's talk about the post office for a moment. As you know, states are being told by the post office that the USPS can't handle the volume of mail-in ballots, overtime being restricted to a number of postal workers, reduced hours, hundreds of mail sorting machines going away. There's been, of course, this call from the Speaker of the House for lawmakers to come back and consider legislation. There's talk of hauling in the Postmaster General for a hearing as well. But beyond that, what real recourse do lawmakers have less than 90 days out from the election?
So, look, good for Nancy Pelosi for bringing the House back. I believe that Mitch McConnell needs to bring the Senate back as well. I called for that publicly yesterday. People depend on the post office. We're depending on it for our democracy, for votes. But people also depend on it to get their retirement checks and their Social Security. People depend on it to get medications through the mail. This idea that Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to destroy the post office because he knows he's losing this election, this is fundamentally wrong. We all see what's happening here. So I think Nancy is doing exactly the right thing. We're going to keep up the pressure, put the pressure on Mitch McConnell. You know, this is one of those times when people across this country, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, make your voice heard. Support your local post office. The person who's delivering your mail just wants to get that done every day. We've counted on that in this country from our very founding. And Donald Trump wants to break it just so that votes won't be counted so he can try to claim a victory when he loses in November. It's wrong, and we should all be opposed.
Senator, really quickly here, just 30 seconds. You mentioned at the end of your campaign the role of sexism and how that contributed to you not getting the nomination, perhaps. Senator Harris, black woman, how concerned are you that sexism and or racism is going to play a role this time around?
Look, Donald Trump is going to do his best to raise every racist, nasty, ugly, false argument that he can. But we are all there to support Kamala Harris. She's terrific. I've known her for more than a decade. We've worked together. We're going to be there to call it out every time it happens. Kamala is going to make a terrific vice president, and we're going to turn our backs on Donald Trump and his efforts to try to stir racism and hatred in this country. We're better than that.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator Warren, thank you. Good luck with the virtual convention as well.
Thank you.